ahead in workers earlier, the Maxo once again has picked up that lead. Hive is just about to finish up. Spire is already done, and actually we see now Corruptors coming in here too. Really well done actually by the player in blue, significantly ahead right now when it comes to the supply counts. He's still flying around the map trying to figure out exactly what it is he is going up against, because so far Drone Rush hasn't really shown him a whole lot. I mean, he's got map control, he knows that he dealt damage to the majority of the units here. Great Aspire is now coming in here as well for the Maxo, but will this be scouted? Drone Rush is currently moving into the main base. Corruptor's feeling merciful, and that does mean that this Greater Spire gets scouted. Beautiful little moment there, because this allows Drone Rush to respond to this kind of shenanigans in time. Apparently, he's gonna go for the Hydra play. He's also getting himself +2 missile, which is rather important. But no fourth base just yet, and I think that this would be something that he could definitely go ahead and take now that there are indeed a couple of units out to already start shooting up. I mean, there's 9 Hydras, definitely more than enough to deal some damage here to those Mutas if they were to try to deny that fourth. As a matter of fact, actually, I would like to see both players have their fourth up and running already. We see additional drones now coming in for Drone Rush. 11 more right there on the production tab for just a little while. So he is going to continue mining here, but I would love to see the base taken either over here or right over here on the low ground. It just makes such a big difference. Judging though by the speed of which these roaches are moving, there is no Glio reconstitution just yet. That means that the Maxo is just going to try and simply spend as much money here as he possibly can on getting himself out these Brute Lords. And the Brute Lords are now already moving in, or morphing in rather. And of course, having those Mutas out allows the player in blue to just simply be completely unaware of this. But look at that, a single changeling may very well turn the tide of this battle. Roaches and Ravagers are now moving in. They're corrosive, biling all of these morphing in Brute Lord cocoons. And all of a sudden, Drone Rush is all over this army composition. Still a lot of Corruptors in the air. That could have really gone south if Drone Rush did not catch exactly what was going on there. But there is still so much here left over for the player in blue. Following this up with a ton of Zerglings, still cleaning up the majority of this army right here from his opponent. And while the Corruptors are currently not doing a whole lot, and it does look like the Maxo will be forced back home, Drone Rush wins that engagement just barely. Having that single changeling there, though, changed the tide of that battle. These Overseers, and actually it may have gone down since, the Overseers have been extremely helpful throughout this game so far, just because they have indeed given Drone Rush so much information. He is now moving across the map though. He's got a lot of Hydralisks here with that new Hydra skin. They're going to be able to deal a little bit of damage, but Brute Lords are just about to finish up, and they do morph in rather quickly. Got to be very careful. If you want to commit to this, it's important to go ahead and do so right now, because once these Mutas, or rather once these Brute Lords do end up finishing, all of a sudden you're going to have to deal with a lot of these Brutelings as well. Look at the amount of carcasses currently floating to the surface of the Abyssal Reef, and Drone Rush is pouncing on this opportunity to potentially close out the game right here, right now. And while he is indeed target firing down the Brute Lord successfully, I think that there may just simply be a little bit too much here for the player in blue, and I think that Drone Rush will be deflected once again, but maybe he's going to be able to deal a little bit more damage. Spire now also coming in here on the other side of the map. No Hive to be seen anywhere just yet for Drone Rush. And while this is all going on, right, and both of the players indeed took heavy amounts of losses, the game is actually pretty even. As a matter of fact, the Maxo is still slightly ahead, but worker-wise, the game is still mostly even, and apparently the Maxo is feeling confident enough to make a bit of a move across the map once again. And I actually do quite like this decision here of him, although he does need to be careful. If the Hydras manage to get underneath a handful of brutes, they will just simply end up killing everything in just a matter of seconds. There's a Nidus network coming in. Okay, Drone Rush is going to try and probably go for a counter-attack here. He's going to go up against a ton of brutes. I mean, already at this point in the game, there's a couple of them out. There's 3 more joining in just a second, bringing the total up to 6 brutes. And 6 brutes doesn't look like a lot. It's actually a very menacing force just because of the amount of range they have. There's not really anything in the game that can easily match it, other than, of course, the Tempest and the Thor, but those are not part of the Zerg versus Zerg matchup. Corruptors now still available as well. I think these will be important, but here we go. Zerg is going to try and pounce on top of it. Apparently that means, though, that we will see the Maxo now forced to micro back with some of his ground units as well. Drone Rush trying his very best to make the most out of this situation, but so far not really getting the value. One of the Brutes, however, now in range of the targeting here as well. The Maxa smartly putting those in hold position, but here we go. He's now also morphing in the last of his Corruptors into Brute Lords upon not seeing any of his opponents' Corruptors just yet. Speaking of which, though, we do see some on that production tab right now here for Drone Rush. There are no Hydralisk available for the Maxo, so I think that Drone Rush may very well be able to hold on here eventually. Hydras are going to be able to pounce on this opportunity as well, but so many of the Brute Lords remain, and 3 more are currently joining in. This Corruptor could actually be the one that changes the outcome of this game. Corruptors deal a lot of damage, and they're capable of changing the tide of a battle very rapidly. Drone Rush still has a lot of damage output on a lot of those units, and one of the Brute Lords does end up dying. Hydras are trying to push forward right now as well. Gonna go after all of those Brute Lords, trying their very best, though, to not overextend so they would die to the Roaches and all of the Brutelings as well. And while one of those Brute Lords apparently is currently still throwing its little lings there at the mineral line, I think that eventually, right, Runner should be able to hold on. More Corruptors are joining in, and I think that that's thus mean that the Maxo is going to be able to potentially overwhelm the ground force while all of his air units end up falling. The Maxon are currently heading into that main base as well. Nidus network is still up and running, but it's not being used just yet. A lot of these units are currently absolutely pointless, though, as the Maxo is currently switching back towards a fully ground-based army. Fort bases are now up and running here for both of these players, but I think that the player in blue just barely overextended. I'm actually quite surprised that throughout all of this, the Maxo has not spent the 100 minerals and 100 gas to get himself the Glio Reconstitution upgrade. Upgrade-wise, right? And this is one of the big things in Zerg vs. Zerg. You need to make sure you keep on pushing these upgrades. It's currently +2, +1 here for Drone Rush. That means that currently he's gonna go up against a Zerg that is not getting any upgrades other than, of course, the Metabolic Boost upgrade. Corruptors now even taking a piss right here on that hatchery. That will indeed start dealing a lot of damage. Look at that. If a couple of seconds go by, the damage like quadruples in just a matter of seconds. And apparently that means that this 4th base will end up dying here as well. Corruptors, however, still up in the air. There's no counter for those just yet. Hydra's now coming out as well in big numbers here for the Maxo, and he's going to try and push forward here, trying to land all of those biles as well is Drone Rush. Question is there going to be enough here for the player in blue to deflect this massive force? And I think that with all of these Hydras just simply caught off guard, Drone Rush eventually obtains the victory in a very, very close and well-fought battle. That was awesome. That was actually a really, really nice game. I wonder, though, if both of the players should have just taken that force a little bit earlier. Because I think if the Maxo did so, and he followed it up with a lot more drones as well, just to separate that, instead of trying to go for the throat, then I'm just like a feeling, right? When you know that you're really far ahead and you want to win and obtain the victory right then and there, oftentimes it's better to simply sit back and Maxo it up. Because he moved across the map, right? With like 3 Brute Lords alive and a bunch of Roaches and Hydras. There was a chance that he could clean up the game right then and there, but I feel like it was a little bit of a risk. Well played, though, by both players. I hope you enjoyed watching this match. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload one. Other than that, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I will see you in the next one.